Without further ado, let's put on some music and adjust the lights. And let's take this back for a moment. Let's acknowledge this ability, this awareness of energy. You have many angelic senses. The sense of unity that allows you to see everything as a single picture rather than fragments that it really is. The sense of love, the sense of compassion. These are the angelic senses that we've talked about. But I've waited to now to talk about your energy sense. Let's take a good deep breath. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes now, because the eyes are the greatest deceiver of reality. The eyes are directly connected to the brain. The eyes, by the way, are not part of what somebody would call an evolutionary process. The rest of biology has a lot to do with evolution or devolution. Oddly enough, the eyes are not. There's no way that they could have evolved the way they did faster than basic biology. No way. I should tell you something about the beauty of the eyes, but also about the deception of the eyes. You have the ability to sense energy, and it doesn't need to have a smell to it. It doesn't need to have a sound to it. And it doesn't go through the human mind. The mind could not possibly understand it. There's no qualia, there's no association. The mind would search for it, but it's like, it tastes like chicken. And there's nothing there. It's frustrating to the human, but you have the wisdom of the master. So let's take a deep breath and just allow the ability to sense energy. Wow. And remember, the human does not have the resources to do this on their own. You can't do it through your mind. So right now, it's imperative to simply allow the and of the master. Energy's all around you. In neutral. It's not dancing, it's not blinking lights, none of that. Energy's all around you. And it's all yours. It doesn't belong to the person sitting next to you. It's all yours. You're not going to necessarily feel a physical reaction to it. Don't go searching that it has to have bolts of electricity or anything. No color. Let all these limitations go. Remember what I say about energy. It's the song of the soul. Energy, if you were to put any label on it, energy is simply communication. But a communication without song, without sound, without force. It's the soul's compassion and joy coming back for the pleasure of the soul. That's all it is. And none of it is outside of you. None of it. It's all yours. As far as the eye can see, the day or the night, or as small as you can perceive something to be through the human mind, it's all yours. It's just energy. It has been waiting and waiting to serve you. That's all. And how you have run from it, how you have avoided it, how have you been afraid of it? It's been waiting to serve you. How have you tried to rationalize it and research it and study it? I spit on that. How you've tried to justify it. How you've tried to get your little fair share of it. So much of the depression that occurs in humanity today, so much of it is because of their bad relationship with energy. You can do all the studies you want, about all the medications you want about depression. When you go out of grace with energy, you get depressed. People actually who work with their hands and work hard with their hands, farmers, for instance, a much lower incidence of depression. And one would conclude that, well, it's because they're in nature, or they don't have to think a lot. No, actually, because they're more energy aware. They're not thinking about it, not intellectually. They're just working with energy. The awareness of energy, the ability to be aware of energy in a non-physical form without particles, atoms, molecules, waves, color, sound. The ability to be aware of the presence of energy is innate to your soul. Take a deep breath and just feel it for a moment. Your eyes and your human senses have been perceiving energy as designs, as a telephone pole, as a stop sign, as an automobile, as a house. They've been perceiving energy designs. But that's not your relationship with energy, that's your perception of energy. You say, but how come this is all mine? How come I see a telephone pole and the person next to me sees a telephone pole? It's because there is such a gravity on this planet of mass consciousness, an agreement that you're all going to perceive generally the same thing. But that is being shattered right now. Remember earlier in the session, I said at the Ascended Masters Club, we pass out a menu for dinner so that we all have a perception of eating the same thing. A common agreement. But there it's conscious and deliberate. Here on earth, people do it unconsciously. Let's go back to the ability to sense energy. It doesn't mean seeing a stop sign or tasting chocolate ice cream. Those are reactions and perceptions, but there's a thing called your energy sense.